Heathcliff constantly endeavors in an emotional conflict between love and revenge. While both feelings correlate to each other, they also can both connect directly to violence. Heathcliff's misfortune and lack of the attention he craved caused him to be the way he was. His love for Catherine was so strong, so unchanging, that his brutality overtook the mentality of love and replaced it with the mentality of pure vengeance. His anger was fueled by his not being able to be with Catherine because of his social status and how Edgar was a fine old gentleman. He took out his anger in vengeful acts that were mainly executed towards characters that were only associated with Catherine. Overall, throughout most of the story, the urge for revenge proves to be a more potent emotion than the love it is directed to itself. Lynn is one out of the several subjects that Heathcliff uses to assert his power. He's mainly only used in the story as a pawn for Heathcliff's dominance and destruction. He is despised by Heathcliff, is treated contemptuously, and, by being forced to marry the young Catherine, is used to cement Heathcliff's control over Thrushcross Grange after Edgar Linton's death. Therefore, Lynn is proof that revenge can turn love vain, which is why, in the end, Heathcliff finally realized that he didn't need to do harm to these people in order to make up for what was already done. Deception is another factor that is influenced by tainted love and revenge. Isabella is another victim of Heathcliff's wrath. By him deceiving her of being a romantic, fine gentleman, her falling in love with him ultimately turns out to ruin her life. Heathcliff brutally deceives Isabella into thinking he actually loves her back, and never returns her feelings for him. In fact, similar to Linton, she is simply used as a mere tool in this quest for revenge on the Linton family. Hindley grew up without any parental respect and real love. I assume that the way Hindley is later in life is a result of this. His father brutally admitted that he had more of a passion for the orphan, Heathcliff, than he did for his own son, Hindley. Hindley's anger was developed in a way differently than Heathcliff's. He lost the attention that he wanted to Heathcliff. As we read, Hindley eventually plotted to kill Heathcliff with a gun, which was his ultimate revenge for his parents' defiance.
Heathcliff had certain types of parental love. Mr. Earnshaw did adopt Heathcliff and show him love and guide him. However, he was already corrupt and destroyed from a young age, so it took a lot of time for the love to soak in. Also, from the beginning, Heathcliff is confused with love. Catherine shows him love, and he turns on him. Edgar grew up in a civilized way in a civilized home. He didn't really know what violence was because it simply was not allowed. Sheltered from all the outside world, Edgar only knows love. Therefore, when he is first introduced to the outside world and hate, he doesn't know how to act. When Heathcliff is angry at him and throws the hot applesauce, Edgar has no idea what to do, but just sit there. Also, when Catherine slaps him, he throws a fit and runs out, but cannot stay angry at her for long. Edgar had parental love and guidance, and therefore he is a peaceful person. His peaceful nature shows in Chapter 6, when he ultimately shows his pacifistic side. He does not fight Heathcliff when Heathcliff is angry at him for being with Catherine. As a result of his childhood, Edgar is a helpless and powerless person who cannot be angry at anybody for long. Catherine is very violent and abusive. She uses people to gain power and respect. Arguably, Catherine is one of the most evil people in the book. Sadly, she lost her father and mother at a young age, and she had an early friendship with Heathcliff, who was violent. Catherine turned this lack of love and guidance from her parents into anger and revenge and violence later in life. Hareton and young Catherine. These two people are linked in the story as two similar symbols that ultimately defy the vanity that seems to mask over the love, particularly older Catherine and Heathcliff in the story. In conclusion, I want to say that true love is incomparably a more powerful emotion and state of mind than the seeking of revenge. The course of Heathcliff's mentality is obvious throughout the storyline of the book. His love for Catherine starts out no different than any other ordinary love, but soon, once he loses what he needs, Catherine's love and attention, things quickly turn hostile towards his associates. He feels the need to take out his anger in vengeful acts towards the people surrounding him, putting the blame of his troubles on everybody else but himself. At this point in the story, revenge seems to be the more powerful emotion, making over the possible tranquility of real love and suppressing it into nothing more than time from the past. But at the end of the novel, proves the idea wrong. Heathcliff finally finds the errors in himself, as said in the book. He found heaven. He also found his peace of mind. He realized that he didn't need to do harm to others just to make up for what he lost. His love for Catherine was so strong that he no longer feared death and accepted it as a new stage of life. And love proving to be more powerful between it and revenge, to be with Catherine once more. To answer our question, the lack of guidance always leads to trouble in the long run. Being one of the most common motives in the book, violence is always caused by anger, which is essentially caused by sadness from lack of love. Every character that grows up through the book acts exactly as the way they were shown, whether it be in love or hate.